Nuance is annoying, isn't it? No one likes nuance, it's difficult to spell, and in the culture wars, you have to get rid of it, otherwise you can't have a good time. You take the attribute that's true of the extreme of a group and then pretend that it's true of all of them. Here are some examples. Right-wing people are all racist. Left-wing people are all woke snowflakes. All BMW drivers don't indicate. OK, sometimes that works. But in general, you shouldn't use such broad brushstrokes to judge people. But the trouble is, it feels good. It backs up your own bias, but having no nuance is ruining free speech. We can all agree there are some things, some extremes, that we should curtail. If you want to drive from university to university in some Scooby-Doo style van, saying when you plan to go and beat up a group, we wouldn't allow that. It's against the law, so it should be banned. But you scrap nuance, and the next thing you know, we're banning things because people don't like them. A survey found that 1 in 10 students want to ban a certain group from universities. And what is this group that they wish to shun? A nationalist group, a violent mob? Nope, the group that they want to ban from campuses is the Conservative Party. Now, I'm not saying you have to like the Conservative Party, although they are giving us some great material at the moment. Chris Pincher accused of groping men. The only way that joke would write itself more is if his name was Richard. But you shouldn't want to ban something just because you disagree with it. If you're not willing to listen to the things you disagree with, how do you know what you disagree with? And if you're not willing to take part in the argument, you'll never win it, will you? Now, of course, in my tireless pursuit that's very unpopular to try and achieve fairness, it's not just the left that are trying to cancel things that they don't like. We have the phrase, go woke, go broke, basically saying, oh, if a company signals some virtues that I disagree with, I want to see them go out of business. Now, this week, we've been talking about the Halifax Bank adding pronouns to their badges, and then we saw reports of people suggesting a boycott. I mean, it is a name badge. It includes people's names that we also don't read and use. You tend to ignore them. In fact, I'll go a step further. If you use people's name badges, it looks weird. If you walk up to someone and say, hello, I'd like to make a deposit, Sarah, Sarah is going to call the manager. Now, if a corporation's making a big deal about how inclusive they are, it's worth remembering they're only doing it to impress you so they can get to more of your sweet, sweet money. Let's not pretend that corporations are genuinely huggy-feely these days, but if one of them does something you don't like, do you have to wish bankruptcy on them? Back to universities. The survey said that 39% of students say that students' unions should ban speakers who offend some students. It's unworkable. Mathematically, how many students does it take to mean some? Because you can always find someone who doesn't like something. I once saw a video on YouTube of 6 hours of beautiful whale song, and someone had given it a thumbs down. Imagine going through life as that person. Oh, I don't like that whale. Ugh. Someone didn't like it. Should we take it down? Many people thought that Galileo was offending their religious sensibilities. Would we be better off if we'd protected offence above all else? Giving the most power to the most easily offended creates a race to the bottom. The left is offended by anything that's slightly right-wing, so the right wing gets offended with anything that the left are doing. The proportion of students that think that academics should be fired if they teach material that offends some students is 36%. So what if someone is offended by the idea of firing an academic over something like this? Stalemate. We'll never get anything done. But if we add nuance back in, we see that not everything you disagree with is hate crime or oppression. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you should try and banish it from your life. So, in conclusion, if you listen to different points of view, if you allow a range of opinions to exist, and if you hear what people have to say, don't worry. It doesn't mean you'll change your mind. You can still be the same bias-filled, small-minded person you've always wanted to be. And if you didn't like that conclusion, good. It's a step in the right direction.